Welcome. My name is Osvaldo Garcia Jr. I'm from preparatory for early college high school. And one of the assignments for my class was to kind of break down or introduce TEKS for class. This is the agenda. I'm going to give you an introduction, the actual standard, the unpacking, ideas for improvement, closing. At the end, if you have any questions or comments, comments are needed this time, if you want. My name is Osvaldo Garcia Jr. I'm an art teacher at preparatory for early college high school. I've been teaching, this will be my third year, and I'm going for my Master's of Education, and we're going to be going over the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. Okay, this is the TEKS we're going to go over. Creative writing, 1/2 to 1 credit. It's the study of creative writing which allows high school students to earn 1/2 to 1 credit while developing versatility as a writer. It's rigorous, the composition course. It asks high school students to demonstrate their skill in forms of writing as fictional writing, short stories, poetry, and drama. All the students are expected to demonstrate an understanding of the recursive nature of the writing process, effectively applying the conventions of usage and the mechanics of written English. And we'll go over that later on. For high school students whose first language is not English, the student's native language serves as a foundation for English language acquisition and language learning. Statements that contain the word including reference content that must be mastered, while those containing the phrase such as are intended as possible illustrative examples. The essential knowledge and skills, as well as the student expectations for the creative writing and elective course, are described in subsection B, which is the one we're going to go over. The student analyzes fictional and poetic elements, focusing on how they combine to contribute meaning in literary text. The student expected to compare and contrast varying aspects of text, such as themes, conflicts, and allusions. Propose and provide examples of themes that cross text. Connect literature to historical context, current events, and his or her own experiences. Analyze the relevance of setting and the time frame to text meaning. Identify basic conflicts. Describe the development of plot and how conflicts are addressed and resolved. Describe how irony, tone, mood, style, and the sound of language contribute to the effect of the text. And determine and explain the purpose and effects of figurative language, particularly symbolic and metaphoric. Identify and analyze text structures, recognize motifs, symbols across text, analyze distinctive features of text, genres such as biography, historical fiction, science fiction, fantasy, short stories, and poetry. They're also expected to identify how authors create suspense and tell the points of view that affect tone, characterization, and credibility. And I got these from the TA website. I have to cite my sources. Okay, these were our scores for last year, English 1 end of year course. At approaches grade level or above, this is the state, this is the district, and this is what we got. So we're above everybody else. At meets grade level or above, this is the state, this is the district, and this is what we got. So again, we were above the state and the district. At master's level, the state was 7, the district was 3%, and we received an 8%. And this is from the TA agency's paper report. It's online. The next step is to describe what steps we can take to improve those test scores. Okay, these are the ideas for improvement. Okay, we're going to use the media to engage students. Nowadays, they all have online accounts and phones and iPads, so we're going to use anything they use to communicate, to keep their engagement. We're going to have the students use several forms of media, old and new, posters, drawings, connected to literature. You're going to have the students turn essays or literature into podcasts. Nowadays they have their own YouTube channels. They can make their own YouTube channels or podcasts, depending on what the teacher allows. allows the students to choose a medium, depending on what you guys control. Allow students to choose medium while you choose standards like theme, genre, etc. You're gonna choose the standard, and you're gonna tell them what media, they're gonna choose what media to use. And we're gonna insist that all students publish their work for sharing, that way they can provide feedback for each other. And you can monitor all the communication. You're gonna use role, audience, format, theme, tone, topic to revise or experiment for new audiences. You're gonna develop commercials, posters, podcasts, YouTube channels, and pretend they're trying to get to new audiences. They're gonna use thematic units to design units, assessments, and project-based learning into what students work on. That's up to you guys. You're gonna use technology to revise student work and provide feedback. Allow students to share work with other students for feedback from peers. You're gonna use your Google Classroom to communicate with the students, so you can provide feedback on their podcasts, YouTube, all of that. We're gonna create social media clubs to discuss assignments and curriculum. The latest assignment, it's kind of like what we have in our classes Blackboard. You put a discussion out, and everybody comments on what the assignment is. We're gonna have students create an ongoing podcast on the literature. Throughout the year, the students are gonna have to create podcasts, YouTube channels to connect and kind of do commercials for the literature or assignment they're doing. And we're gonna connect the old way of learning with the new technology-based learning to have students make connections. And all of this I got from this website, the 12 Strategies for Teaching Literature in the 21st Century. So those are the steps that we're gonna use to improve the scores even more. Thank you. Any questions? Any comments? If you want.
I don't have a question, but a comment. I think it's great that that teachers are using the Google apps in the classroom, and I think it's very helpful for the kids to be allowed to make their own podcasts. I think that's wonderful.
And thank you.